walking the River Rock Trail. Now, I've been promising this to yous, so here we go. Now, this is a more leisure walk for those who's not really looking for sorry about that motorcycle. Anyway, this trail is more for those that's not really looking for the more difficult to walk, but just like some nice stroll looking at the river and stuff. So it's not hard. It's about the easiest trail there is here at the park, but it's also very beautiful to look at while you're strolling. Now, this is a trail, as you can see, it's dirt. So it's not an official sidewalk or anything. Just a good old-fashioned walking trail, I mean. So, as you can see, river really looks beautiful right now. The wind is blowing enough in the direction that causing it to ripple really pretty. As we get further along here, we won't hear the sounds of traffic as much. It will be further away from the road. So bear with me. My thigh is still sore from the other day, folks. I mean, seriously sore. So it's good that I'm doing this today and walk the soreness out. I was going to do Jacob's Ladder again, but for the sake of time, I'm foregoing it. My husband goes in at 3, so I need to just focus on the length of this and not worry about anything else. Now, if all works out, in a couple days we're going to be showing a brand new park that's new to both of us. I didn't even know it existed, and he found it. He was looking up something and he found it. I think he was looking for parks that had the spray and splash for children, and he came across this one. So we're going to go look for it, and then I'm going to get to film it for you guys. Nobody read it's a 10-acre community park, so should be interesting. I look forward to doing that one for you guys, and they'll definitely be fresh for me. Now, once again, here's the tour boat. I'm not quite sure how far up the Brazos they go. I'm not sure. But I'd say that the guy driving the boat has information about Waco and the river and founding fathers and all that. So anybody who comes to visit Waco, come down to Cameron Park and check out about taking the boating tour. You might find it very fascinating.
Something that I'm not doing.
As you can see here, it shows running trail. Now those markers are basically along this one particular, because this is the one that's the easiest to jog. Now, I've seen some people running the trails that's up in the mountains. Like, I'll show you here. Along this trail here. Now, I come out of that a lot of times. And that trail is actually called California. And there, as you can see, is a bamboo forest in there. And one of these times soon I'm going to be walking California and letting you see the beauty of that trail. But anyway, people jogs this river trail more. You're going to see me referring back to the river quite a bit because of the people. Now, somebody tried to go fishing. I don't see that you see that, but anyway, there's a bobber out there. Somebody lost their bobber. Obviously, I got hooked up on a tree root or something. This is a very pleasant walkway right here. Now, I see tons of groups of 4, 6, 8, 10 people walking by at a time. They make it an outing. As I said, it's easy to walk. Oh, that tree, it's a goner. Good thing it landed up there in the fork of that one. It would have went to the river anyway. If you can see it or not, there's a little bit of a cliffside. There is some dead trees through here, but I'm thinking more along the lines simply because they've just become more or less waterlogged in their roots where they are on the riverbank. And of course that happens. Now, today is such a beautiful day that when I left the house I was wearing my jacket and it really wasn't necessary, I could tell. And right now I am literally wearing a tank and cropped pants. So, yes, comfortable. I like days where I don't have to bind up in clothing, when I can be comfortable and warm in what little bit of clothes I can wear. As you can see, there's many rays down to the bank so that you can fish. Some people do choose to fish later on in the evening along this way. Apparently, we've got a group of people with their own dogs. Really good fishing bank right there.
A stick? Right now?
Okay, it wasn't a group of dogs. It was one person walking with a dog and something or another got the dog upset, but all's well. Now across the way there you can see that there's a boat dock. Now that happens to be the Brazos Park East. There isn't much there. It consists of a bathroom hall, male and female, stalled, a disc golf area, a few picnic pavilions, and then of course the boating ramp. I believe the boating ramp is in 2 different spots, and then a rocking track that eventually will lead you to Cameron Park. You cross a bridge and you end up in Cameron Park. But Brazos Park East is actually a separate park. You're just able to walk to Cameron from it using its rocking track. It's a beautiful park. They keep it up, but not very much attraction there. But they do, they keep it up. One of these times I might walk that track just for you to see how pretty the scene is. The track itself is nice. And there's another, I guess what people walks. I've never bothered walking up that. I don't even know that it's a marked trail. Might be originally just a drain off and people's chosen to walk it. I'm not positive. You can see that there's a lot of ivory through here. Beautiful ivory trees. Now, as you can tell, the Brazos is a pretty wide river. Now, I used to live in Ohio, and the Ohio River is wider. But the Brazos is pretty wide compared to the river that I lived close to in Kentucky, which looks more like just a creek. Whereas, at least what my mother thought when she moved from Ohio to Kentucky, when she first saw it visiting her mother and father-in-law. Now, we've got a river here in Waco called the Bosque, and it is literally as big as the river was in Kentucky, where I lived close to. And right now it's basically large puddles of water. It doesn't even have a flow. But that's where from the summer droughts that we get, and basically the fact that apparently it's a pretty shallow river. I'm sure it's got its deep points too, but The way it goes right now, if I was to go to the Bosque, I probably could literally go the entire riverbed, finding dry spots to walk along, literally inside the riverbed. So I'd be surprised if I would find an area that I just couldn't walk across at all. I only saw that river flow once, and that was after it rained for around 2-3 weeks straight in February of 2006. And during that time, it had even flooded the Raco Lake that I showed you at Woodray Park. Flooded it so bad that you couldn't even get down into the parking lot or walk that trail. It was flooded. And that was the only time afterwards that I saw the Bosque actually flowing. So how many times does it actually have a flow? I couldn't tell you. Apparently less times than can be counted. But apparently the Brazos is always plentiful. Hard to tell how deep it is. Looks pretty deep. Sorry I'm not able to keep the camera basically straight on the trail, but giving you a sideline view. There are a lot of hikers and joggers around here, and I choose not to show their faces if I can help it. Look here, we've got blossoms, guys. Do you see those blossoms? This is a cherry tree, I believe. Yeah, I think this is a cherry tree, guys. Not absolutely positive, but if anybody knows, did you get a good look at that tree trunk? Let me show you the tree trunk again. Now I'm pretty sure it is cherry. So if anybody knows for sure if that's cherry or if they know what kind of tree it is, please leave a comment and tell me. But I believe it is. I think that's a cherry tree. Ooh, we've got some kind of blossom here too. Not positive what that is. No, as you can see, they once again, running trail. I think somebody spray painted south, so, but yeah. And you can tell this is a more comfortable trail to walk if you just want a leisure stroll, but with plenty of scenery. You can stare out at the river and look at the trees and watch people pass you by. There's even been some horseback riders. I saw two beautiful horses once. There's a certain point up through here though that they don't allow any horseback, no horse riding. But like along through here, the horses are allowed. I think mostly like further up in the hills on those trails, they choose not to have horses, for one, because there's a lot of wooden bridges that could collapse if there's too much weight on them, but mostly for the safety of the horses and the rider. The horses could easily get tripped, and that wouldn't be too good for the horse or the rider. I noticed though a lot of places that starts with bridges says plainly no horse back riding from this point on. And usually those bridges are markers of a new trail. Usually leads up to the more rough areas for hikers. You do. Now a lot of them that hikes through here also carries a backpack. I'm carrying one right now. It contains my water bottle and a hanky for a runny nose and my other cell phone. The phone that I'm using right now is for video only, but I always have to carry my other phone in case of emergencies. Has my identification in it, and be able to call 911 or my husband or whatever. It's always good if you're going to use a phone for video, have a main phone on you as well that you can use in emergency. Now, up here is another set of trails. This is Speed Run. And this is Act of Faith. Now, I like taking Act of Faith and going out California, because you can start at Act of Faith and end up on California, and I like hiking that the most. It's somewhat challenging, but not over challenging. Before we move on, I want to show you this too. Now, what do you think of that down there? Anybody who can possibly get down there maybe could like do a little bit of swimming or fishing. I mean, isn't that nice? All you gotta do is be able to get down there. Don't look like it'd be too awful hard. Here we've got some more bamboo. The bamboo is all through this park, seriously, and I'd never realized it before.
Duracell, trust is power.
Okay, we are now at the pull-up park, mouth of the Bosque, where I'd parked the other day to do my last great walks. This is where we are now, so you can get a better view of it. It's a nice ride area, a parking area, bathroom, male and female, water fountains, a nice pavilion with a grill. Of course, over there is the map, and the trail continues on, but down over here, a lot of people gather and they fish. Yeah, I saw some fishers down there. Just got to be able to get down to it. Over here is a ray completely down. But yeah, this is a nice little spot right here. Another simple pull-in if you want a small spot to park and just have a family picnic and whatever. Out there, people fishes there. And as you can tell, there's a buoy over there, and that's where it becomes shallow in this smaller wash of water, which is more of the Brazos, but as you could tell, the Brazos continues on out that way, and then it's got a smaller river feeding into it. So we are moving on to continue our nice stroll along the river. As you can tell, some hoof prints. There's also rangers that rides horses along around here. Make sure that everything's going well in the park. When I was reading up to find about the Riches Castle, one ranger said that she loves just riding the horse throughout the park for work and fun. I mean, she's working, but she's enjoying the ride. Just double making sure that everything's going well. All over there is the trail that we walked when we was attempting to find Johnny. That was adventurous. Sure was. And I really seriously wish I could have showed you that wall with the arch that they call the Riches Castle. Yeah, people's also said that it's haunted, but now I don't honestly believe that. Not one bit. It's just part of a foundation that once had belonged apparently to a decently well-to-do family, and then sometime later, after the family moved and everything, some teens came across it and deemed it the richest castle. Now the wall with the arch does look somewhat a little medieval-like, but that's about as far as that is.
That's really, really pretty right now. I don't know what they doing so good. It's pretty.
A couple carrying their 2 puppies looked like they wore them out. And they looked very tuckered out. It doesn't take long for puppies to get tired when you take them for a little walk. It appears that some people has attempted that. Whether or not they succeeded, I would hope that they didn't try, because there's loose rocks up there. And it just don't work that way, guys. It don't. It appears I'm making decent time. I'll be making it back in time for hubby to get to work. Normally I don't try to film on days that he works because I don't want to cause it to be a problem on time. But I had been promising to do this river walk, and the fact that I got up in plenty enough time. Now this appears perhaps could be part of a well or something. I'm not absolutely certain. There is ventilations. So, let's see what we see. I can't. It's pretty deep in there. See if it echoes. Hello? No echo. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't. But, anyway, so, like, yeah, I've been promising to do this walk to show you the trail along the river and how pretty it is. And I got up in plenty enough time, so it works out fine for the both of us. He goes in at 3, so I had plenty enough time to prepare this morning. And knowing that this is an easier route, I don't have to do too much maneuvering, just walking along and stuff. So, yeah, really not a problem. Not a problem. This is I know that there's so much to see here at Cameron Park, but it's definitely a good rate to encourage anybody to come and visit for themselves and explore this big place. Make it a camping trip, make it a family outing. Welcome to Lover's Leap. I had forgotten that there was this river walk that went right by. But look at that bluff. I mean, honestly, you know, if you jumped from there, you'd be dead for sure. Wouldn't be very nice. It's a good thing they've got the tall fence, right? Someone would have to be desperate to even climb that, get over it just to jump. And you can tell it has fallen. It was chiseled out funny, and it has fallen. I mean, it's like an outcropping up there. You can see. So, But yeah, come with the family or a group of friends. Set up camp. Take time out to explore this large park. Challenge each other to go up Jacob's ladder. Challenge each other to take the long trek around. To sign the waiver at the club for the bicycling club so that you can go and find that Rich's castle. Challenge yourself. Come with a group of friends or family. Come visit this place. Walk down the track that goes along the river walk that way, and go to the Chisholm Trail and walk across the bridge that they used to drive longhorn cattle across. See the beauty for yourself. I can only show you so much with my camera. You could get so much more if you come yourself. So much more. There's another trail there. That's kind of stupid right there. I wouldn't even do that myself. But now this was flooded once when I came through here, and they finally made it a little bit more accessible, which I'm glad. But you can see they put up like a bunch of logs and stuff, because this here is like a wash right through here, and it becomes pretty swampy and muddy. So they filled it in with log and stuff. Yeah, you gotta push it, honey. You gotta push it. Even geared up bikes don't cut it. Uh-oh. Okay, it looks like it's just a drop of jelly. Nothing more. So, that's good. There's another footbridge, and as you can see, trim bridges. And that was the trail that we would have took if I wasn't trying to get to the Rich's castle. As you can tell, there's a sign right there. No horseback riding, no horses. So yeah, that's footpath only. Okay, that funny little dilemma back there where I stood still. So like we had two guys coming one way and two bikers coming up behind me. So I chose to step aside and let the bikers through so that there was room for the walkers too. And consisted of a boy about the age of 12, 13, and apparently his mother trying to bike. And the poor mother like couldn't push it up the way because of the stumps and all that, and it being a little bit of a slope. And so that's what I was referring to, that you got to push it, because you do. And even those mountain bikes that are geared, you know. So I don't know what I managed to catch and what I did. I tried to keep the camera away so that wouldn't be caught. If any scene was caught though, maybe I should have filmed it, but that would have been, we don't want anybody to ever end up seeing themselves on film making a calamity of themselves. We don't want to do that. So, but as you heard, as the walkers went by, it said, "We got that on camera." She got that on camera. I don't think I did, but definitely heard the chaos. So, yeah, I was telling Mom, you gotta push it, because you do. Even geared bikes, you gotta push it unless you got a good run and go. You find yourself not able to make it. So that was her case, bless her heart. Boy had no problem. Little boys never have a problem riding a bike, ever. It's us older people that kind of struggle. Yes, that is another rock that fell from up there somewhere. Apparently they had been there for some time because now there's a bunch of tree that would catch something like that. Now, that I showed you back there, if it's not Lover's Leap, then it would be Emmons Cliff. So that might be Emmons Cliff that I showed you back here, because up here is Fallen Walk and stuff. So I'll show that to you as well. And whichever the case, like there are a few cliffs through here. And like there's a trash can way out here, but at least they put it in consideration. So like it's possible that maybe this is Lover's Leap. It could be. Yeah, this would be Lover's Leap here. The one that I showed you back there is Emmons Cliff. This is Lover's Leap. Now look at this. Yeah, that wouldn't be too fun to jump off of either. But I'd almost think it'd be more dangerous to jump off of Emmons Cliff than it would Lover's Leap. Even though this is where you'd land. You'd go like, boom, roll, boom, run down into the river or something, you know, like, yeah. But it's still beautiful. And you know, I'd kind of thought that maybe this was cement laid, but no, it is literal rock, had been chiseled and busted just for this trail. A little bit of activity going on up there. As it appears, the Brazos is somewhat flooded, but not much, not very much, not very much. Now, would you believe that people has literally driven their horses around this? And I wonder how, but they have. It's a good thing that horses, when you don't force them to run, really takes their time. Horses are careful. They're careful when they walk. When they're walking slow, they're careful. But when they're forced to gallop or anything, or just trot, then they become clumsy. I feel sorry for any horses that maybe injured their ankles on these rocks. So the rider has to really drive their horse good too. It's not just the horse maneuvering on their own. The rider's got to know how to maneuver that horse as well. Couple things I see on these trails I would never want to conquer. horseback riding and bike riding. Both can be dangerous. I'd rather just go on ahead and walk it. That way I can maneuver easily. Make sure that I don't get tripped up or anything. I think some of these paths people have made themselves. I don't think they're actual trails, but just areas that people has decided to try to conquer. And they've managed to beat it down. My thigh is loosening up some, but it's still somewhat hard to walk. I seriously should have had stretched when I got home. I should have stretched before I left to do this today. So guess what I'm going to do when I get home? I'm going to stretch. Something I should have done, but I'm going to. You know, I think in some ways when people sees me holding up a camera like this, they know I'm filming. And maybe they think possibly it's for YouTube or maybe Facebook or whatever. But they really don't do a double take. They don't ask questions. They just go on their way. You know, there's always somebody who's decently close to you in some way or fashion that gives you really good criticism. Good criticism, not bad criticism, good criticism. Like, Pan, your walks better. Take it slow so I don't get dizzy. And I had seen that before in my filming. I knew I had to slow down because it was making me dizzy when I would proof watch. And then, like, I love the sound of your feet crunching. I agree, I like the sound of my feet crunching too. Especially when I walk on a track that's got the sandy gravel. Man, that is the coolest sound in the world, isn't it? But yeah, some of my subscribers are my best critics and fans. And it always helps to have somebody leave a comment that says, well, I would like it if I'd see it done this way or more of that, or because that helps me to give better videos. If I know what the audience is looking for, what they would really like to see. Now this is a large pipeline. I'm not quite sure what it's for. Possibly sewage or something. There is a lot of bathrooms, so it's possible, and it is welded and sealed, so maybe it's a oversized sewage pipe. I don't know. But there is a lot of bathrooms here in Cameron Park, so it is quite possible. I love walking over these old bridges. I do. I love walking over bridges. I love driving over bridges. I love riding over bridges. I love walking bridges. I love bridges. They're just fascinating. I do. I love bridges. But yeah, anybody who watches these videos, please tell me where you would like for me to go. If you know of places around here, tell me where you'd like for me to film. If I'm filming something wrong or filming the wrong way, tell me. Tell me what you prefer to see. How you would prefer for me to film. More foliage, less walking, of course slower panning, make sure things are more into the view. And I mean, you know, a person who does filming, whether it's a professional filming or just filming for YouTube or Facebook or whatever they're posting these films on, a real person who wants to give real film appreciates real criticism that helps them to make it better. Not somebody who's up in themselves, well, I can do it on my own, I'm too good, I don't need no advice. No. Those of us who really wants to give you a better quality appreciates your feedback. I am one of them. By all means, please tell me if there's something you would prefer done different or done more. I am more than happy to try to do whatever is suggested, unless it's something that's out of my league or, you know, something that's impossible or doesn't have anything to do with my genre of film. Other than that, I am more than happy to provide however yous would like to see. More than happy. One thing I do know for sure, that if the majority of people opens their mouth and says what they prefer to watch, I will be sure to have a bigger crowd watching, because it will be more satisfactory. And I know for me myself, when I'm walking this stuff, I know what I enjoy seeing. I do. Unfortunately, you know, sometimes I can't get everything in the camera. I can't. So that's the downside. But a lot of times I'm looking around when walking to see what I can flash for all of yous, because I want very much for yous to see what I'm seeing. So, another bridge. I know somebody else who likes bridges, who's my subscriber, and who's very close to me and loves me very much. Hi, Mom. And here we are at the marina, which is the end of the park. and where the river trail begins. And this is where I'm going to be raving off. So I hope you enjoyed this walk. And it was a great pleasure for me to show it to you. And until next time, bye. Hey guys, I'm so glad that you watched another segment of Great Walks with me. I'm just wanting to tell you that I am now on Patreon, Patreon, and I would like to invite you to support me through Patreon. Now, by your support, that means that I can give you more beautiful walks, showing you more parks and gardens, trails and attractions, and not just locally around here, but anywhere else in Texas and possibly outside the state. So I ask that you support me through Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/Amy's Creations Video Productions. That's patreon.com/Amy's Creations Video Productions. All lowercase, no spaces and no apostrophe, just straight Amy's Creations Video Productions. Now I appreciate it. Thank you.